So I love real estate, right? Now I like more passive investing for me personally. I mean, people can do active investing. I got plenty of friends that are active investors where they're doing like flips, fix and flips, or they're doing, wholesaling and things like that. But here's the thing is that is still a business, just like being a realtor, like being a real estate agent, right? Yeah. Same thing is that it's a business. You have to actively manage it. Even if you have a brokerage, you still have to manage it. You're still playing in that game. There's not really that passive income that you hope to have as much. That is why I love passive investing, right? Because I love the fact I get paid for not doing squat. Now granted, I have to get things in place. I do have to still manage it, but I don't have to do a lot. So like, for example, I don't do active real estate management, right? I don't do any of that stuff. I do turnkey real estate investing. So when I buy the property, there's already a property manager doing all the work for me. I can buy it anywhere in the country. In fact, I live in the western half of the United States. I usually recommend people don't buy in the western half. I'm like, no, look out east, at least Midwest to Southeast, where the rates of return are way better.
Better returns?
Yeah, like I look for at least a 12% cash on cash rate of return on my money, for my down payment on that home. Okay. And that's after I pay property management fees, right? That's the kind of thing I look for. Now you could do it in other places, but like when I get clients from California, for example, it's not too uncommon to see a 1 or 2% cash on cash return, or even worse, or maybe they get better, maybe they get 6 or 7, maybe, but the return on equity is dismal, right? I had one guy, he had $700,000 of equity in his property, but he's only cash flowing a positive of $200 a month net profit. I'm like, $200 a month with $700,000 of equity. That's not even 1% a year return on equity. I was like, dude, sell that. Like, let's 1031 that into other properties and make at least a 10% rate of return. That would be $70,000 a year, not $2,400 a year, right? That kind of stuff. That's the kind of thing that we look at. And you don't have, of course, buy these properties. I mean, you can do this. I like it because I get growth and cash flow with that kind of situation. But I'll even look at syndications. I'll do apartment investing and things like that, or into self-storage or assisted living, or you can go into things like oil. There's even oil investments. I have one client in Hawaii that refuses to do anything with real estate, even though it's awesome. But he will do oil. I'm like, great. Well, then do an oil syndication and make double-digit returns off that.
So you're anti-mutual funds, you're anti-stock market, and what you advise is to invest in real estate, to look specifically Midwest, Southeast, but that's probably not, I mean, there's probably other areas, I know that's not like a hard rule of thumb. Yeah, there's just some pockets. And so what exactly, walk us through that. Like, what are you investing into? How do you find them? How much are you putting into it? Walk us through a deal if you could.
Yeah, I mean, generally I'm looking for like reputable turnkey companies to go through them. A lot of times they'll even broker deals and things like that. But I'm looking for somebody who's already renovated a property. It's rent ready, right? Okay. So it's already been fixed up. I mean, even like for example, I have a friend up in southern Pennsylvania, right? Now they just barely getting past the whole moratorium stuff, but some of the best cash and cash returns I've seen, like sometimes 15 to 20% plus on a cash and cash return. So that means if I'm buying a property for $160,000, right? And say I'm putting down, with closing costs, everything about 40 grand, I expect a cash flow at least $500 a month there, sure, like net profit. Now it might be 100-year-old house, but at least it's fixed up and renovated. So that's rent ready to go. Like it's brand new inside,
And this, you're talking about Southern Pennsylvania right now?
Yeah, Southern Pennsylvania. I mean, this would apply for anywhere that I'm looking
at. What specific areas are you talking about?
Yeah. I mentioned Southern Pennsylvania. Other areas I've seen, like Memphis, I've got properties there. I've got stuff in Alabama, like around Birmingham's been great. North Carolina, like around Asheville, some good stuff there. Indianapolis usually has some consistent stuff. You might see something in Kansas City or St. Louis, Missouri. Even Oklahoma City is kind of up and coming. I've seen Arkansas has some pretty good stuff out there. Now other markets that could be good, but they're more growth versus cash flow would be like Florida and Texas, right? Where, the cash flow is not as good, not as rich, but there's definitely a lot of growth potential because of the influx of people moving in.